Just before Good Friday. Oh boy, are you in for it today. I've had a good night's sleep, an extra cup of coffee, and way too much time to think this morning. I got up early. Um, First thing I want to say is thank you to Jeff Collins. He sent me a message last night, and it was a really nice message, and it helps getting those. I appreciated that a lot, buddy. So thank you very much. Um, So this morning I was listening to the radio, and like the first two words I heard when I got up were COVID crisis. And I actually wrote a book about marketing back in the fall. And one of the things they talk about in the or one of the things I talk about in the book, and one of the sections is about how to create a sticky title. This COVID crisis title has two sticky things about it. One is that it has the alliteration. Boy, it's going to be interesting what comes out today. The alliteration, which is the hard C sound. Plus, it has, I believe it's called iambic pentameter with COVID crisis. And I realize that this term is affecting all of us in a very crazy way. The power of language is insurmountable. You can't understand how much language affects us. And it's interesting because this coined term, COVID crisis, keeps going internally. If you actually pay attention to the way that it makes you feel, it's kind of crazy. When we set an anchor in our mind, what I mean by anchor, do you have anybody in your life who, when they say a certain thing a certain way, it just sets you off and you're angry instantly? That's because your mind has set an anchor. And that anchor means that you no longer have to interpret that as a good thing, a bad thing, or anything in between. You just go straight to the response. But when things like COVID crisis are made up, um, your brain has to interpret those things, and we go into a sort of a fight or flight kind of mode. And that fight or flight actually causes a physical reaction in your body. If you hear that, if you pay attention, you can actually feel words like that going inside of you. It's a really strange thing. But that's because the mind has to interpret it. When it's a new term like COVID crisis, um, your mind has to go, okay, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Should I be afraid of this? Because our minds are set up to protect us. Well, what happens is when it's said enough, all of a sudden it just becomes an anchor. And that anchor, you no longer have to think about your interpretation. So the power of that language is so ingrained in you that you no longer have a way to interpret it other than the fact that it's, a very bad thing, and that's the way your mind goes straight to that emotion of fear and panic. If you doubt this, there's a great movie that was made, I don't know, gosh, about 12, 15 years ago, called What the Bleep Do We Know? And they did an experiment. They took water from this dam in Japan. And it was all the same water taken on the same day. And what they did was they actually wrote different words on the water. They put it in little vials and they wrote love, fear, hate, panic. And it was crazy because after, I don't know, a week or so, they actually looked at the molecules within the water to see how those, at a molecular level, those words and those intentions put into it had actually changed the molecular structure of the water. Ooh, can't hardly talk. What was crazy about that is if you looked at the one that said love, it was this beautiful, ornate, crystalline shape, and it was like a snowflake, if I remember correctly. But the ones that had the fear, the panic, all of that stuff, those molecules looked jagged and misformed and crazy. And it was all because of the intention in the words behind them. Now, where you can really apply this is the fact that we are human beings made up of like 80, 90% water. Those words going into your mind, those intentions, are everything. It changes you at a molecular level. So I heard something this morning. I work in mortgages. I was reading a journal within the industry, and I heard them say something very positive about what's going on in the industry. And they actually used the words COVID disruption. That was very interesting to me. A positive message within the financial markets, and they used the word COVID correction. Hey, Tiff. Buenos dias. Sorry, I'm feeling crazy this morning. I shouldn't drink this much coffee. Thanks, Tiff. So we are just about there. There's so much more I want to tell you. It's been a crazy morning, but we don't have enough time. It is 9 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to your feet. Sing with me in unison and let your voices ring out for good reasons, for unity, for peace, and for getting through this together. our national anthem. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, there's the applause. Hey, Doug, how are you? Tommy, I'm glad you're with me, buddy. We'll get through this. It's not a crisis. It's a disruption. And depending on how you look at it, it's an opportunity. If you want to make this a bad thing, you can. But if you want to make this something we come out of stronger, better, and more understanding of each other, I don't know about you, but I think the world before was a little broken. I'd like to see a world where we're a lot better to each other, and I think we're starting to do that. Every one of you on here that's singing, that's sharing, that's joining, that's commenting, all of that stuff, you're making a difference. You're making the world better, and I appreciate you in ways you can never imagine. When I started doing this, I was hoping just one person to join me. Now I know there's hundreds, and they're not necessarily on here watching. They're doing it out in the real world. I know my cousin Kimmy Chrysler has the I think it's an island or a peninsula of Cape Breton, tuning in every day to sing with us, and that's absolutely amazing. So thank you guys for all you're doing to make the world a better place right now. I appreciate you in ways you'll never know. You give me strength every day, and I hope I give that back to you. Thank you for your time. I love you. Have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pam, you have a great day too. Stay strong, guys.